E.N.D here, day 3 for the spoilers of the Brothers War. Leave me a comment below, what is your opinion about the set? I think it is focusing more on artifact than I was expecting at the beginning. Let's start. And I want to start with some common cards. E.N.D Medic, 2 and 1 white, it's a 1/4 with lifelink. Stern Lesson, 2 and 1 blue, it's an instant. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Create a tapped Power Stone token. Third Path Savant, 2 and 1 blue, it's a 2/3 for 7, draw 2 cards. Overwhelming Remorse, 4 and 1 black, it's an instant. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Exile target creature or planeswalker. When I saw this card, I said it can have some potential, especially in decks that have interaction with graveyards. Bitter Reunion, 1 and 1 red, enchantment. Enters the battlefield, you may discard the card. If you do, draw 2 cards. For 1, sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Argothian Opportunist, 2 and 1 green, it's a 3/2. Enters the battlefield, create a tapped Power Stone token. Giant Growth, for 1 green, it's an instant. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Tocasio Onulet, for 5, it's a 4/4. Leaves the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Unearth, for 3 and 1 white. And if you don't know how to play Unearth, I did a tutorial video explaining this particular mechanic, how it works. Clay Revenant, for 1, it's a 1/2, enters the battlefield tapped. For 2 and 1 black, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Mishra Juggernaut, for 5, it's a 5/3 with trample, attacks each combat if able. Unearth, for 5 and 1 red. Go for the Throat, 1 and 1 black, it's an instant. Destroy target non-artifact creature, and black has a new removal spell. E.N.D Descendant, 1 green, 1 white, it's a 1/1. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Gaia's Cursor, 4 and 1 green, it's a 4/5. Whenever it attacks, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, draw a card. The rare cards, Soul Partition, 1 and 1 white, it's an instant. Exile target non-land permanent. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. Okay, it's a nice removal spell, but still your opponent can play it in the next turns. Kaila's Reconstruction, X and 3 white. Sorcery, look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up to X artifact and or creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them on the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Tocasia's Welcome, 2 and 1 white, enchantment. Whenever 1 or more creatures with mana value 3 or less enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Hercules Final Meditation, 4 and 3 blue, instant. As long as it's not your turn, the spell costs 3 more to cast, meaning that if it's your turn, it's 4 and 3 blue. If it's not your turn, it's 7 and 3 blue. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand and the turn. Drafna, Founder of Latna, 1 and 1 blue, it's a 2/1. 1 and 1 blue, return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. 3, tap, copy target artifact spell you control. Ashnot Flesh Mechanist, she's the one that put Mishra on the dark path. For 1 black, it's a 1/1, Death Touch. Whenever she attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, create a tapped Power Stone token. 5, exile a creature card from your graveyard, create a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. Fate from History, 2 and 2 green. Sorcery, each player who controls an artifact or enchantment create a 2/2 green bear creature token, then destroy all artifacts and enchantments. It's a nice sorcery against artifact and enchantment decks, but what really interests me is the artwork. I really like these cute bears. Taunos the Toy Maker, 3, 1 green and 1 blue, it's a 3/5. Whenever you cast a beast or bird creature spell, you may copy it, except that copy is an artifact in addition to its other types. Transmogran's Crown, for 2, artifact, equipment. Equip creature get +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw a card. Equip 2 or for 1 black. The Stone Brain, for 2, legendary artifact. 2, tap, exile it. Choose a card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand and library for up to 4 cards with the name and exile them. That player shuffles, then draw cards for each card exiled from their hand this way. Activate only as a sorcery. Let's stop for a second and discuss this card. This particular card is useful against decks that have a particular winning condition. pay 2, tap it, target that particular card, and you will absolutely dominate that game. Very, very useful and very good card. Keep an eye on it. The mythic cards, Skyter Beam Battalion, for 9, it's a 4/4, Trample and Haste. Enters the battlefield. If you cast it, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Therefore, for only 9 mana, you will have 3 creatures, 4/4 with Trample and Haste. But this has prototype, meaning that if you pay 3 and 2 red, it will be on the battlefield as a 2/2, but still will have Trample and Haste and still will create 2 tokens of it. Therefore, you'll have 3 2/2 with Trample and Haste. And if you don't know how to play prototype, I also did a tutorial video explaining how this particular mechanic works, and there are some tricks up the sleeve. Clay Champion X and 4 2/2 enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it for each 2 green spent to cast it. When it enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 other target creatures you control. For each 2 white spent to cast Clay Champion, put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. And it's a 2/2. Basically, if you just pay 4 green mana to cast it, that's an 8/8. 2 green mana, 3 +1/+1 counters. 2 green mana, 3 +1/+1 counters, plus the 2/2, that's an 8/8. So more green mana you spend, more bigger this creature will be. But if you mix green and white, it's not Clay Champion that will get bigger, but also 2 other target creatures you control. Quite very useful creature spell. And I want to end this video with the Retro Frame schematic artifacts. Altar of Dementia for 2. Sacrifice a creature. Target player mills cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Aether Flux Reservoir for 4. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life. It deals 50 damage to any target. So this was the last card in this particular day 3 of the spoilers of the Brothers War. Join me tomorrow for another day of spoilers of this epic set. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.